Need to update our faces are off right now. Uh,
I've just removed it. It's not coming back.
I've had this issue my entire life with
please
therapy.
stick with me while I figure out
Oh,
why
this
our
is fun to
faces are
watch.
not visible.
Okay, now I'm gonna have to get into the
Um,
Twitch and see what's happening.
who's talking? I can't see them.
We're all
Well,
ghosts. We were
sorry.
never
Is this
here.
a little more noticeable?
Well,
Nope.
today, please enjoy this session with just me, Mike, and Dawn. And that's it. Nobody
Oh
else.
no!
Just kidding.
Oh no!
It's all right,
Um,
Michaela. We'll start our own group with blackjack and hookers.
Good.
whoa.
Sounds like more fun anyway.
This is a different game than I was expecting.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm here.
There we go. Do you guys all watch as well? On do you watch the stream as we play?
I just have
Oh.
it up for chat.
Not
Oh
while we
God,
play,
no.
Okay.
Seeing my own face
Yeah.
is very disturbing.
No, I'm constantly cringing seeing my goofy ass moving mouth parts. So no, it's minimized just so I can see the chat.
Exactly what
I
Don
just
said.
stare at myself the whole time like the vain person I am.
Okay,
That's what I
I've
do.
never understood vanity. I'm like the opposite. I look and I'm like, just
Yep.
gonna shut that screen down and run the other direction.
Yeah, see, I have
That's
a
me in
combination
photos.
of the
Ugh.
two where I'm like, I have to look, but
But I look horrible.
Ugh.
um,
Yep. No, never gonna watch a single one of our episodes.
that's okay. You don't have to.
I already know what I need to watch.
So, we are here. We are playing our amazing Pathfinder 2 game that we're super excited about, I think. I don't know why I said that like it was sarcastic because I actually think we're enjoying this like a lot. I'm having fun. I hope you guys are too. My name is Em. I am the game master, and we are playing through a homebrew story called Tales of the Witch Boy. My role is GM, and also I play Remy the Witch Boy and his little familiar, the Bay Dragon Eska. What about Michaela? Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Michaela. She, her for my pronouns, please. I play Sogafa, the halfling Dampier sorceress. Always cheerful, trying to be far more deadly than she could ever possibly be. That's me.
Thank you very much. How are you, Don?
I'm doing well. Hi, Don. Pronouns he, him. Tonight I will be playing the rambunctious kobold swashbuckler Krieg Fog Crusher. Pronouns also he, him. And I'm doing well.
Good. Hello, Mike. What's up?
Yo, yo, yo.
Yo.
I,
Yo, yo,
I,
yo, yo, yo. I'm
I
sorry.
tried to say yo, and then it sounded funny, so I did it two more times. Anyways, my name is Mike. He, him. Playing Shaija Contour and her Eidolon, him.
Cool. And last but not least for today is Gwen.
Hi, I'm Gwen, and I am playing the lesbian wreck Hannah Liar.
Our favorite.
And she's also a fighter,
Nice.
I guess.
We
More of a
are
lover.
We are unfortunately missing Jenna today. Jenna had some life things that happened that she needs to focus on, and it was super last minute. It was like, oh my gosh, life. And so here we are. I'm gonna pilot Lishijia if I need to. I will do my best. I am probably going to refrain from playing Lishijia too much and just assume that Lishijia is following the group because I don't want to step on Jenna's toes too much. But at the same time, if I need to jump in as Lishijia, I'm gonna go ahead and do that and try to tread carefully with her character. Um, so welcome to episode 9. Are we in episode 9?
Yep.
Oh my gosh, this is so exciting. Episode 9 of Tales of the Witch Boy. You have been following the trail from Baikisi to Bungai to the Kinderon Mountains. And just recently, you have arrived at the foot of the Kinderon Mountains with the help of a Shisk woman and her scout partner, it seems. The two of them have led you through the jungle after a very scary and very tense situation in the dead of night. You've worked your way from a quiet camp that you set up in the middle of the night toward a marshy area. And recently, as you've arrived in this marsh, you realize that the wetter environment is probably a product of the waterfalls that stream into the Kinderon River just below the mountains. I'm going to zoom in on our map for us so that everybody can see our Saga Geisa map and where you're at. Our party token, I'm going to get everybody over here. Looks like we need Kayla and... Oh, Jenna, it looks like Jenna is here. Or at least online, okay.
That's me, I'm Gwen.
Got it. Jenna is actually online as well. But you are in the southern jungle still, and you've been trailed recently by a group of rangers who is hunting Remy, the witch boy, for unknown reasons. You've been told to head to the Whispering Marshes, where you might find some answers as to why this is happening, who these rangers are, where they're from, and I believe the woman who met you, and did anyone write down her name? Because that is a habit that that's something that I typically forget to do.
It was like Nika?
Okay, something like that. I believe it did start with an N, yeah.
I have down Yheli.
Oh, fantastic.
Right. Okay, thank you. Yheli. Yes. And Yheli also mentioned something about the continent of Elea, which I think Sugafa probably lit up with a little bit when that was mentioned. I would like a very easy and basic survival check from each of you. This is not so much to... and actually, you know what? It can be a different type of role if you would prefer it. So let me describe what you're trying to do. Rather than navigate, because you have navigators who are leading you through the jungle at this point. Rather than navigate, this check is to determine how well do you keep up. How well are you able to stay with the group? And are you able to prevent yourself from falling over difficult terrain? Are you feeling confident as you push forward through the jungle? It's a pretty standard basic check to just kind of work your way through the jungle. Go ahead and give me whatever you think might work. I would say probably the most applicable would be survival, or
Athletics.
or athletics. Yeah.
How long have we been traveling through with this group now?
Overnight, right?
Yeah, I'll get to that actually. So it was just overnight. But you do start to work your way up into the mountains, and I am going to fast forward time a little bit. Since you have navigators, since you have people who are leading you through the jungle, They're able to guide you away from dangers. They're able to guide you on the most efficient path forward. And oh, look at that. Um, and they're able to kind of make sure that you're taking correct the correct path, right? Um, so if you rolled a natural one,
I crit failed my athletics check.
what's
Yes, and
your what's your total with
I
the
still
one?
got a 9.
That's not horrible. The DC is a 10, and nothing bad happens on a fail. It's just kind of flavor with this. I would like you to give us a little bit of flavor about how Gwen or how Hannah possibly fails that check as you're walking through the jungle. And
Well,
I would like you to keep in mind too that this is a consecutive or like a consecutive. It's a. This isn't
Militant?
just one cumulative, yeah, something like that. That's something that this happens over the course of some time. It's not just like one thing that happens in one moment. Anyway, continue.
All right. Well, you said it was really, really swampy just because of all the waterfalls and everything like that. And last session, Hannah sort of left behind all of her worldly possessions, except for the clothes on her back and everything like that. I feel like one of her boots gets stuck in the mud and just pulls right off. So she's just walking with one the entire way now. Like she wanted to say something, but like a little too much time pulling her foot out and everyone was already ahead. She didn't want to bother anybody.
Oh,
So she kept
goodness.
going. And now she's just got such a weird gait that now it's like causing minor back pain just because her shoes are so uneven as she's walking. One of them doesn't have anything. And so,
Oof,
yeah, it's just sort of a bad day.
that's brutal. Okay, thank you. I saw a nat 20 in there too. I think that was Shaija.
Yeah, the reason why I asked how long we've been walking is because Shai just stayed up all night, making sure that nothing bad was happening to Remy. And I think that Shaija is very suspicious of the group.
Yeah.
So maybe that would explain why she's able to, even though she's like dog tired, she's constantly on a lookout, seeing if there's any signs of that these people might be ill intent.
Okay, thank you. Give me a. Since you rolled a nat 20 on that, what's your total?
The total was a 19 because I gave myself the
Oh.
minus for fatigue.
Got it. Why don't you give me a perception check against the will DC of these individuals? I think we also did this last session, but since you're keeping up well and observing them, just go ahead and do another.
All right. Low 11.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think you're able to really figure out what their motives might be. Nonetheless, they seem to be looking out for your safety, at least for the time being. The man, the Shisk man, he has very, very distinct spines that come out of his arms and the back of his neck. Specifically, the spines on the back of his neck are long and they drape down against the back of against his back. He's wearing a piece of cloth that's affixed to his shoulder, like affixed across his shoulder and down the side of his body. But other than that, he's bare-chested. That same cloth is wrapped around his waist, and it kind of serves as a little bit of a belt. And he has what seem to be like basic tools attached to it. So he's got like a little pick. He has a knife made of stone. He has a bow that he sticks in the back of his in the back of the piece of cloth. And every now and then he'll stop. He'll bend down and he'll take his pick and he'll like dig into the soil and pull out some insects and kill them and then eat some insects on the spot. He's clearly a survivalist. And every now and then he kind of, as he stops, he points out things that all of you should avoid stepping on or avoid touching, maybe plants that you should know about as you're walking through. And I'm going to, if you're able to succeed at a either a survival check, a perception check, or a nature check. Hannah's like, if you're able to succeed at any of those, then I will give you a +2 bonus to future survival checks through the Kinderon Mountains.
Okay, I got an 18
Nice.
perception.
Cool.
24 perception.
Very
Ooh.
good. Love it.
A 19 for Sogafa.
Okay.
To nature.
All of you succeed. So as you travel through the Kinderon Mountains, and only the Kinderon Mountains, just by watching him and listening to him as you travel through these first stretches of this mountain range, you are able to pick up on some things that you should avoid, some things that would help you, some things that might be good to know related to plant life. What are some things that you could hunt for? What are some things that you could dig for and eat if you needed to? General survival methods. And I think all of you pick up on these, and while you are in the Kinderon Mountains, you'll gain that bonus to your survival check. So you can go ahead and take note of that. Traveling with these two, you actually make it, and I'm going to go ahead and move your token. You make it 5 days forward into the jungles, safely.
It's now 25 breeze.
Let me thank you for reminding me about that. Let me do that right now. So it would be 1 night would be the 21st, 2 nights 22nd, 3 nights 23rd. Yep, it would be the 25th of breeze, which is in our days of the week, if you want to know. I always have fun with calendars. I think it's a really fun world building aspect that you can do a lot with. It is currently Moon Day of Breeze, and it is the 25th. So consider it's a 6-day week in Galesrian. Moon Day, Terra Day, Orb Day, Dust Day, Star Day, and Vast Day. And it is currently now the 25th. It is a waxing crescent, if you're interested in moon. But yeah. After some travel, 5 days forward, or 5 nights forward, you arrive in a very lush, but also, well, in a very lush green environment. You're pretty clearly high up in the mountains, and it seems as if you're starting to see like cliffs that drop off, and smaller passes that lead forward. A lot of the passes seem to be pretty narrow, maybe 5 to 6 people across, with steep sides on each side that plummet down. If you were to fall, you would not just fall off a cliff, but you would slide down, probably to your death. And it's treacherous landscape. And moving forward, it seems as if the area has become more rocky as well. It's still quite green. There's still a lot of trees and plant life, and birds are singing in the trees. It's very clearly lively. There's a lot happening, but there are rocks everywhere. and they are these massive, gray, beautiful stones and boulders that rise out of the soil. And I think one thing that you would notice once you arrive is as interesting a feature is as these cliffs are, an equally interesting feature is that there are caves built into these boulders and rocks that rise out of the ground. And the Shisk navigators lead you into these caves. And I think before you would enter, Yheli would turn to you and say, "My people's village is in here. We are a cave-dwelling people. If you wish to stay with us or travel through our caves, you may join me. If you choose to go forward on your own, you may take the winding paths that lead through the passes in the Kinderon Mountains. However, at the very least, this would be a good place to rest. My people are wary of outsiders, but we are kind and we are helpful." Bless you.
No, that's Shaija.
This might be a bad time to bring this up, but do you happen to have any sandals or shoes that your tribe makes? I lost mine about 5 clicks back.
Oh my goodness, my dear. Yes,
Spirits.
we can provide you with any wares that you might need to continue forward. Should you have the goods to trade or the price to pay to purchase them?
Yeah, I have plenty of...
We will arrange something.
I have a
Could we-
hatchet.
Could we do some chores? Could we help your folks around? Could we cook for you? Or
I do have coins. I have some money. I can help buy stuff. You see, when we left our original camp, a lot of us had to leave a lot behind. Hannah, you were able to so kindly return our treasured items to us. So I could buy you a pair of. And Craig looks down at their feet. Boots, flats. I don't know your style.
Whatever it is, as long as they match, because I have picked out the 16th rock from my foot today, and I think I'm done.
The Shisk woman, Yheli, looks at Krieg and says, "This is very kind of you. Kinderon is a community. We look out for one another. However, I think you might find that you are not the only visitors to our home. Recently, our friends from the Wishbone Mountains have joined us as well. We can explain more when you come in, should you choose to do so."
Oh yeah, we can't go forward with a barefoot fighter. No, I'd be honored to meet more cultures. This is my first time in Sakagesa, so Wishbone Mountains, you say? What's their thing?
I love to meet new people, so I'm in.
Honestly, I'm just... Are you okay?
Are you asking me if I am okay?
No, I'm asking Shaija. You seem tired.
It was a long night. It was a long night, and she's just kind of staring into the cave and looks weary to go in.
I mean, I could probably go another week without shoes. I'll just take the other one off. I mean, we're a party. We do things together.
Yes, but you'll be the only one of us getting blisters. And Craig will lift up. He is barefoot as well, but he has beautiful scales protecting him. We can't. This rocky ground. He like kicks at it. You can't walk on this barefoot, Hannah. No, let's not be hasty. Let's meet
I've
some
been doing
people.
it for 5 days. This is fine.
Can I look at your feet and see how not fine they are?
Can we do?
Should I make a
Shaija, would
fortitude
you mind
check?
doing some medicine,
Yeah.
your medicine stuff on her foot? It looks horrible.
Okay, so I got a 17 fortitude, so it's not like terrible.
I think so. I think fortitude is a slightly different measure of how you're doing. I think fortitude is how well are you handling the pain. So what I think I'd like you to do is let's do, oh gosh, let's see. I think this is potentially a flat D20 luck check to see how how awful the landscape has been to you. If anybody has other ideas, I am open to those.
Oh no, I love on a scale of 1 to 20 how bloody are Hannah's feet.
I got an 8.
Love that.
Okay. They're probably pretty bruised up. They're probably pretty bloodied. And I would think maybe you've got like a toenail missing.
It's fine. It was like that before, I think. I don't know. I don't look at my feet very often.
Couple thorns
Shaija,
sticking out.
I can see that you're a little reluctant, Shaija, and Lishija, I know she doesn't even have to say anything. I know she doesn't want to go in here.
She's been giving us the silent treatment all day.
I know, and you know, I didn't think it would bother me, but it's bothering me. So
I didn't think it was possible.
Lishija takes her fan. She goes, "Fine, but if you try anything, we're watching you."
That is spot on.
It's true. If they do anything, we will be watching them. We might not have a recourse, but we'll watch them.
Yeah, so Shaija's definitely going to go in reluctantly, but she doesn't say much. She's actually been quiet. Like I said, she's been tired. She didn't even make Sagatha the daily supply of medicine.
Okay. You enter the cave, and moving forward, it winds downward a little bit, deeper into the mountain, and I think you notice that, you know, it's dimly lit by fungi, little mushrooms that seem to be growing out of the rock that are giving off a green light. And so there's this very beautiful but also eerie atmosphere to the caves. This light green light is just emanating from different sides of the caves, different areas, and the deeper you go, you start to hear voices a little bit more loudly, and I think you would actually, I don't know if your characters would be surprised, but as you approach what seems to be a village built into the rock, I think your characters might be surprised by how many people live down here. There is a whole community. Like, probably in one of these large caverns, in the first large cavern you enter, you see 200, 300 people just mulling about, living their lives. And looking across the sides of the cave wall, there are homes etched into the rock that are made of rock that clearly go deeper into the rock wall, and it seems as if they have like windows built into them. There are little curtains hanging across those windows made of like canvas. And there are little shops that have been built into the floor of the cave. So, like, there's a pathway that winds that was clearly once the floor of this cave. And then off to the side of that pathway, there are little ramps that go down into separate shops. And those shops have just been, like, depressed into the ground. You've got etchings of little circles that have tables built into them out of rock that have been etched. And it's this beautiful little village market it's almost as if I don't know if you've watched Avatar: The Last Airbender, but when Toph when Toph learns sand bending, she like sand bends a model of, I think it was Ba Sing Se, and it's like she stands in the sand and then she does her little earthbending thing, and a depression of the city is etched into the ground. And that's a lot like what this is, with the cave being the etching tool that was, or the cave being the floor. What, you know what I'm saying, I think.
We're on the same page.
Cool. And you notice that as you continue back into the cave, there are more of these caverns with 200, 300 people in them. I mean, you have John looking at the chat here. It's funny.
Couldn't resist.
So there are I think there are three. We're going to say three of these caverns with 200 to 300 people each. I mean, this is a city, like by modern standards, in a remote location. Like, this is a city, and a couple things are explained to you as you continue forward. I want to pull up my notes to make sure I get this correct. Everybody give me a perception check. I want to see what you notice.
Oh,
17?
17.
22.
Now that your foot is walking on smooth stone floors, you're like way more paying attention.
Oh, it's nice. Nice and cool. It's got that, like, nice cave dampness. Bet it's doing wonders for my foot.
Oh yeah.
As you continue forward, Yheli turns to the group and explains, "There are more people here than usual. Shisk scouts from the Wishbone tribes arrived in Kinderon 2 weeks ago. Shortly after them, their people, as refugees, began showing up. They said that their home had been taken by a group calling themselves the Wilders of Clarth. One of their elders knew them to be a group from the continent of Alea. Our sister tribe and their caves had been ransacked and stolen, while these refugees journeyed south to stay with the Kinderon tribes for the time being. 2 weeks before these Wilders arrived, the Wishbone tribes observed a ship of outsiders traveling up the Duntara River through the lowlands. It seems as if these Wilders arrived in order to set up a home base or a camp for themselves in Sagagesa. For what purpose, we did not know until recently, when we heard of the Witch Boy being attacked. And we now assume that these two are related, though we do not know why they would be so far north if they were coming after the Witch Boy near Bungai.
I mean, Remy's a
Yeah.
cool kid and all, but like, I think an army's a bit much. No offense, Remy.
No offense.
We do not think
Can
they think of them as an army. More like 20, 30 expert rangers.
can I do there's not history, but can I do like a
Society?
religion check or yeah, society or something like that so that I can see if I know anything about these wilders?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I have nothing for society, so let's hope.
Nice.
Oh, 16.
I think after hearing people describe this and hearing that it has been connected to Alea, a bell goes off, and I think you recognize that the Wilders of Clarth are one of the elven groups in Alea that is partial to taking odd jobs from the elven kingdoms. And you know that the elven kingdoms are there's a certain sense of entitlement, a certain sense of what's the word? I guess entitlement gets it across, but the elven kingdoms think of themselves as better than others, and they choose not to interact with the wilds, with the severed wilds, which
So,
Are-
isolationist, xenophobic kind of.
they
An
can
air of
be.
superiority.
Yes, an air of superiority. Yeah, they absolutely can come across that way. And that's not to say that all of the elven kingdoms are exactly like that. But that is generally it's the vibe, right? That's the atmosphere that most people expect when they enter an elven kingdom. The Wilders of Clarth are known to take the jobs that the elven kingdoms don't want to send their soldiers out for. The Wilders of Clarth are a group of expert rangers that has a long history in Galesrian. And those Wilders will go out and do the undesired jobs that the hoity-toity elves don't want to get their hands dirty with, right? And
So, they're mercenaries.
they're mercenaries very much, but they're a very specialized group of mercenaries. Oh, and another distinguishing factor of them is that in order to rank up in the Wilders of Clarth, you need to make bonds with different animals, and those bonds are representative of your ability as a ranger. And they are known to consider various types of animals as more more prestigious, more if you can make a bond with a specific type of animal, like a leopard, for example, a leopard would be considered more prestigious of a bond to make than with a wolf. One of the higher types of animals that you could make a bond with would be a gecko. And the leaders. Is everything good, Gwen? Sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm piecing things together, but my character's way too dumb to understand this.
Got it.
Yeah.
So one of the more prestigious animals, and the reason being, well, hang on, let me back up a little bit. One of the more prestigious animals to make a connection with would be a gecko, and a giant gecko specifically. And the reason for that is that the individual who founded the Wilders of Clarth had a very long-standing bond with a giant gecko. And so many of the people who want to emulate that leader, who want to become as great as that leader, will attempt to create a bond with a gecko and use that as their animal companion. And so it's kind of cultish. This group is like a little bit of a cult of mercenaries. They have a code. They have things that they think are more prestigious than others. And the strange thing is that they usually just operate out of Elea. The fact that they have traveled down to Saga Gesa is odd. And I don't think anybody quite understands why that would be right now. And I don't think you can glean that from that society check. Yeah.
Okay, I think the moment a lot of this clicks in Sogafa's head, she is going to stop walking and just, you liar. What are you doing bringing us to this place with these people? Are you sending us into a trap? Are you here to get our Remy? Are you here to get him killed? What are you doing with these people? These are the people hunting us.
She looks at you and she says, "Oh, no. The Wishbone Mountains have been taken, not the Kinderon Mountains."
But they're close. They're close. Are we closer than we were before to the ranger base headquarters of operations?
I really don't think the gardeners of Clark are going to give us that big of a problem.
They're not gardeners. They're... Elea is full of, folks with bad intentions. Not everyone has bad intentions, but a lot of people have bad intentions, or otherwise bad motivations. That's like my whole homeland in a nutshell. I'm worried, everyone. I'm worried. And I'm gonna stand closer to Shaija and kind of look at this lady like,
Yheli steps back and she says, I do not mean to bring you into a dangerous location. This is my home. I will protect my home with my life if I need to. These wilders come from a different land. They come from a different place, and they have attacked a different location here in Saga Gesa. I do not intend to lead them here.
I panicked. I'm sorry. I panicked. They're not good people. They're not good people.
Why don't you, everybody go ahead and take a look at the map really quick. If you look north, the Wishbone Mountains are just below the city of Yesa. And they're just below the Duntara lowlands. What she explained was that it seemed as if these wilders took a ship up the Duntara River into the Duntara lowlands, over to Yesa, and then went into the Wishbone Mountains and took the homes of these Shisk people who live in the Wishbone Mountains. Some things to note: the Whispering Marshes are very close to the Wishbone Mountains. Also, there's quite a bit of distance between where you are and the Wishbone Mountains at the moment. And what the Shisk people were described to have done when their home was taken was traveled down into the Kinderon Mountains, where they knew they were protected by the Kinderon Shisk. And so they have theoretically traveled across those narrow passes that you saw leading off into the north, further into the mountains. And they're now in these cave systems that you are inside of. I'm gonna let you guys role play this however you see fit, but one thing I want to make clear is that if there's anything you would like to purchase here, if there's anything you would like to do here in the village, you're absolutely more than welcome to do that. Also, if you have ideas for trades that you want to make, you can do that. Feel free to interact with any of this however you see fit. And feel free to ask questions to anybody. Gonna kind of leave the ball in your court from here on out. Or at least for the time being.
So, Sagafa, you seem pretty upset. Is everything... I think some of this has gone over my head.
I panicked, Hannah. I was listening to what she said, and I for a moment I thought that maybe the Wilders were gonna knock down the door, but I think that we might be safer here than we were out of here. At least Remy is. But I think we should definitely be concerned about the people following us. I mean, like, more than before. They're very skilled.
Okay. Not sure how they're gonna knock down a door to a cave, but
There don't seem to be very many doors here, actually.
no. But I'm just you, and Shaija and the Shijia. Everyone seems to just. I don't know. It's been a bad energy since we had to move camp.
Your
Remy-
feet are giving me a bad energy.
I mean, it's hot. It's cooling a little bit, but it's fine. It's fine. I've had worse injuries. I'm missing a toe on my left foot. It's fine.
Shai just starts patting herself down. She goes, I must have left my coin back at camp, and the only valuable thing is the dagger that I had. I wish I could help you get shoes, but I'm broke.
I have a
Nothing to
couple
trade.
hatchets. Honestly, hell, I could trade my longsword if we really need it.
No.
No,
That
no.
longsword's going to keep Sogafa and I alive. You
Yeah.
keep that longsword. Yeah, I have at least a gold and 4 silver. That can buy something. That can buy some sandals, slippers. Does Lashija not have any slippers she seems like she probably has a couple.
Oh, I rescued some. She has tiny feet.
Oh.
Like,
So, as you're talking about shoes, slippers, sandals, Yheli steps in and says, Sandals are actually... wait, hang on, voice. Sandals are actually one of the things that we have in abundance. Look at her feet. You will see that her feet are covered in a rubber material. The bottoms of her feet are covered in what seems to be like an adhesive rubber. I don't know if you all know of any ancient indigenous practices related to like actual real world indigenous practices, but some South American people used to take tar and adhere it to the bottom of their feet in order to create a rubbery substance that would then become shoes. That is very much what they're doing here. You see most of the people have this rubbery substance attached to the bottom of their feet. And Yheli offers to take you to a shop that could do the same. And it wouldn't cost you. It's a simple procedure that they can just pour tar onto your foot and kind of shape it in a way that would allow you to have
I mean, I'd never
sandals.
have to put on and take off shoes again.
Oh, my dear, it would wear down over time, but for a few weeks, a couple months, you should be okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, sounds great. I knew there was a reason I liked you. Don't worry, guys. I don't have to sell my longsword. I'm getting free feet shoes. I'm not.
You're getting free souls.
I
Free souls
Are they
for
fixing
the
a
free
toe?
soul.
it's the other foot. It's fine. Um,
Shija, are you gonna do any nature or medicine check on?
No, it's because she's so exhausted and weary. Like, you know, normally she would if we were in kind of a safe or if we were going on, but I think that she's so tense that
Yeah.
she's not actually thinking about Hannah, especially because she sees Hannah as this really strong person. So if it was Sagatha, I think that Shaija might be more attentive. But when she looks at Gwen, she sees this person of endurance.
Yeah.
So I don't think it makes sense. Like I think that she's stronger than I am, and so
I like that.
it's fine. It'll burn the wounds closed. It's great.
I was on board, and then
And then that, right?
Do-
You were
yeah,
on
do-
board until that.
yeah, until like, imagine what your feet are gonna smell like when you peel that off in a month. I don't know if I want to be around you when that happens. You're a very
mean-
physical
Not that
person.
We could put like herbs. Could I just put like herbs on my feet before we do this, and then
But then it won't stick to your feet. See, you've got to have a nice, good substrate for the tar to stick to your foot.
Yheli puts her hand on her like forehead, like, my dear, you will be fine. Just come with me.
Yeli, before
I'd follow you
before
anywhere.
you lead
What?
on to the shoe store, I hate to ask. I know that you have clearly a lot of people here right now, but is there a spare room somewhere where we could stay for the night? You know, I think maybe some of us would like a little rest. Looking at you, Shaija.
Of course, yes. We can make sure that you have a place to rest tonight. I will not be able to promise that you will have a room all to yourselves. We may need to split you up in various different huts, but yes, you will all be able to sleep. At least 2 of you can stay in a room together.
Oh, thank you so much. I just wanted to be sure that we're not being too much of an imposition here.
Shaija goes over to Remy and grabs his little shoulder and says, "Remy, would you be a dear and stay with Hannah?"
Oh, yeah, I got it. Yeah, uh-huh.
how's it going, big guy? I'm gonna get my tar feet, and then I'll meet you back up here in 5-10 minutes. I don't know, how long does it take to tar your feet?
Appointment.
I was like, I didn't look that part up.
Yeah, I can't say that. Okay, realistically, like, you got to put the tar on, you got to let it dry, and then you got to put another layer of tar on, and you got to let it dry.
Yeah.
It's probably a couple hours.
Yeah, 5-10 minutes. It can't be more than that.
So it takes a couple hours. Remy's
Now
just
this
like,
feels
"Can
like a
we go
fortitude
now?"
check.
Yeah.
You said they're putting burning hot tar on my feet, yes?
Just the first one's gonna be hot, and it's not burning hot. It's probably like I don't know if you've ever used
Like hot wax?
Like hot wax. It's probably a lot like
Oh,
that.
okay.
Yeah.
No, I knew a girl who used to do this.
So, it's not terrible. Wait, what happened? Did you roll it?
Mm-mm.
No? I'm confused.
Just
No.
giggling
Did I miss
about
something?
wax
No,
bleeds.
not at all. No.
Okay. No?
Just thinking about hot wax, you know.
Okay. While you're waiting, Remy turns to you and says, I've been practicing a little bit of my magic recently. Can I maybe show you something?
Oh my god, yes.
It's pretty cool.
What is it? What is it?
And he said, well, okay, so before this little, like, adventure where we're going through the woods and stuff, like, I didn't really think that I needed to prepare any spells that might, you know, like, hurt someone else. But I feel like it's probably a decent idea to be able to do that now. And so, well, I tried this spell, and it's like the wind comes out of my hand, and it's really fun. Do you want to see?
Yeah, show me. Here. Try not to do full power, but just hit me.
And yeah, wait, are you sure? Are you sure? I
I
don't
mean,
want to
has any...
I don't want to accidentally hurt. Okay.
This is gonna be awesome. Close-up magic.
Can you give me a reflex save? Wait, hang on.
Can I choose to fail it?
Oh, it's a fortitude save. Give me a fortitude save. You can choose to fail it if you want, but well, you don't need to.
It chose for me. I got an 11.
This like blast of wind comes out of his hand and like brushes past your face, or like blasts past your face, and you get pushed off of your seat as they're putting the tar on your feet. And the woman who's tarring your feet just looks at Remy and just says, "Right now? Right now? This is the time for..."
It is. Oh my god, did you see
sit
that
outside.
spell? I mean, Sorry, Remy.
And he like hangs his head down and steps up to the...
It was a really cool spell, though.
He like just steps up to the path and just like stands on the path until you're done. Okay, that's my little RP thing with Remy. Everything goes pretty well. Is there anything y'all are looking for in the village market here? Is there anything that you all want to pick up?
I was perusing
Okay.
Archives of Nethys.
Yeah.
Can't really afford anything, so...
Okay. Well,
no.
what are you looking at? What are you interested in?
Well, he did lose his hand crossbow, so... And that's fine. He understands. He has throwing knives as backup ranged options, but, he's fine. Just kind of looking at the wares, looking at the style. He's been around, so Krig is also kind of looking at the mercantile aspect of things as well. Not really deep, but just passing the time, looking at... He's a tourist.
He's window shopping.
Exactly. But really, he's fine. I was just surprised that a simple hand crossbow costs that much. Thanks, Paizo.
How much does it cost?
It's 3 gold.
Wow. Okay.
Dang.
Just a little hand crossbow. Not important. He's fine. He's good with his throwing knives, and I haven't got to use them yet. So, just window shopping. Yheli?
Yheli.
My handwriting's atrocious. Made it seem like
Sorry.
tornado warning is in effect, I guess.
Yeah, it was Eugene Springfield Fire Department.
Oh boy.
Everything's good.
Oh no.
Okay, so yeah, just window shopping. Yeah, but he's good.
Okay. Something you notice as you are shopping around is that the arrows used in those hand crossbows are crafted out of the spines that you see on everybody's bodies.
Wow.
Almost as if like...
Could we get a? Could you throw that picture back up on Foundry
Yeah,
so people can see
absolutely.
that? Because that was a very good find.
Cool. You know what? I'm gonna have to create a new scene for it, but I'll pull it up as soon as I can.
Oh, okay.
That's all good. It's
Yeah.
around here. Do-do-do-do.
Do you have an NPC for him or an actor? 'Cause you can...
I don't actually.
There's some Foundry tricks I could show you at some point.
I would
You're
love
good.
that.
Yeah. It's like simple, yeah, like if there's an NPC that had artwork for it, you could just right-click, show artwork, then show to players, so...
Oh, that's cool. Let's do that. Let's pull everybody over to this scene. Do you know, Dawn, if there's a way that I can pull everyone to the same scene at the same
You just
time?
activate it. Just right-click activate, and that should...
Activate. That's cool. Okay.
Yep.
So these spines that you see coming off of her scalp and out of her shoulders and back and her elbows and arms and off of the shins of her legs, you see that there are arrows crafted out of that material. It looks almost as if the spines have been crafted into arrowheads that are then affixed to little sticks that are the arrows. Quite scary, honestly, to look at. But yeah.
So looking at them, Craig's gonna kind of just run a finger down. He's gonna find the closest person working. He's gonna beckon them to whisper something.
Oh, hello. How
I
may
don't-
I help you?
Hi, these are magnificent. I bet they do great work, and I don't want to seem insensitive, but creatures I've met in the past with quills have a bit of a toxin. Are your people toxic?
This is an excellent question that I must look up on the archives of Nethys.
No, I don't know if there is anything. I was just thinking
That's a really
some
good
animals
question.
with them will have a basic little neurotoxin thing. It's fine if they don't. I'm kind of playing the dumb tourist right now.
Oh, I'm really curious about this.
Are the archives of Nethys nearby? I've heard a great deal about them.
Okay, so he responds, no, these are the bone quills that my people grow. Once the younglings grow to maturity, their quills fall out, and we sometimes collect those quills and craft them into art or sometimes weapons. These are just a collection of anyone who has turned their quills into us to be crafted into arrows. We try to use what we can.
Of course, no, yeah, live off the land. You have these. Very, very interesting. Could I trouble you for a handful of them?
Why, I would be honored to sell you something. What do you have to give? Or are you able to pay? I must say that currency is not quite as useful here as it might be in other locations, but I am willing to accept it should you only have currency.
No, I have some stuff I could offload, and yeah, he is going to unclasp his dueling cape, and he's going to lay it over his hands. This doesn't serve me as well as it once did, but it could help you. And a little bit of meta. The dueling cape and the pairing scabbard more or less do the same thing.
Okay.
I bought them both at character creation because I thought, no, I'm going to be nifty and clever, and it's just gonna start kind of offload that.
Cool. What color is it?
Let me look at my artwork real quick because I don't remember.
I think it might be red, but I'm not
I think
sure.
it was red. I'm gonna move that. Click over to character. Yeah, it's a like a faded red brown little guy.
Interesting. And you say this will protect someone when they are fighting?
Oh yes. He puts it back on him, and then he pulls out his sword in a very non-threatening manner. But he gives it with his offhand. He kind of wraps the cape around, and he kind of whips it around. He's like doing like little acrobatic moves to show how, and like this, I can use this to give myself a +1 circumstance bonus to AC and to deception checks using to feint until the start of your next turn, and just kind of just flipping around and showing it. It's not bad material at all. He doesn't have a lot of fancy stuff, but that was something he kind of symbolized.
How much gold is that worth?
5 silver.
Okay. He looks at you and says, "Young reptile? You are a reptile?"
More draconic than reptilian, but tomatoes.
Dragon. You are a dragon.
Yeah, several times removed, but yes.
May I? And he holds out his hands as if to take the cape.
Oh, yeah, he unclips it, puts it over. It served me well. It's gone. That cape has seen a lot of the southern islands. Sleesfit, Jervsbury. It's been around, so yes.
I see. This is an acceptable trade. Thank you very much. And he takes it and he waves it across his back and snaps it and says, "How do I look?" And you see his spines are kind of like
I was
holding it up.
trying to find a diplomatic way of saying awful. But I bet it'd look even better in action with those quills flying around. Can you, again, not to be insensitive, can you, like... Shoot them?
I am afraid that I cannot. This
Okay.
is a
I've
common
never-
misconception about my people.
Yes. I've been told you're called the Shisk people.
Yes.
I'm fascinated to meet new ancestries. What do they do?
The quills are for protection. If someone attempts to harm us, we can turn our backs and they can run into them. Or we can strike people with them. They are purely for protection, but many of us have found a way to make them beautiful as well.
Well, they're already beautiful. You didn't have to do any work for that.
Thank you very much. And he goes on to explain that his people are a bird people, and that these spines are the remnants of feathers. And so while they, currently serve a protective purpose, they also have a history of being a feathered humanoid as well. Yeah. He accepts your trade. He gives you 10 arrows made from this bone. And he also throws in a small knife. And this knife is a piercing knife only. Does not slash. But it is a handle with a very large quill affixed to it. And when he hands you the knife, he says, "This quill comes from the mid-spine of someone of my species." And he pulls the cape up that he is now wearing and points to his mid-spine quill. And it's a couple inches in diameter. And it's pretty large. Yeah, and it's a little bit of a curved knife. Yeah.
So yeah, he takes that, and he moves his throwing knives that he has on one leg around, and he kind of just fits it in between the two of them there. Walks around with it, make sure he doesn't brush his arm against the point of it. Thank you very much. This is a wonderful addition to my arsenal. Thank you.
Thank you for your business. It is wonderful to see new people in this home of mine.
Yes, thank you. And he just kind of shuffles away, looking at more stuff.
Cool.
So Gaffa's gonna pull a little tiny flower from her hat and just leave it on his table as they go.
He bows to
She
you.
has nothing else to give. She's just gonna give a little flower.
Yeah, he bows to you and says, "Thank you." What are y'all up to?
I just following around the group and just kind of looking around. She's gonna sleep because she's exhausted, but she's not really looking for anything in the city. She's very weary of it.
Okay.
So Gaffa's not looking to buy anything or necessarily like that. I am curious about the fungus on the walls. Is there still fungus on the walls in here that's glowing?
There is, yeah, and actually it's giving off a lot of light. There are other light sources. People have torches set up in various parts of the cave, but there are a lot of the fungi that are growing out of the wall, particularly on the ceiling of the cavern, and they are shedding a lot of light downward. And it is this green light. You'd be able to find some smaller substances or some smaller samples on the wall lower to the ground. Give me a nature check.
An 18 for me.
Okay. Let's see. So this is a very safe type of mushroom to consume. It is also a bioluminescent, right? It gives off its own light. And you would think that a lot of these people use the mushrooms partially as a food source here. It doesn't seem to have any medicinal properties. It's very likely used for just light as well as food. And I think as you're inspecting one of them, an older woman approaches you. She's completely bald except for the spines that come off of her head, and they drape down along her back. Really quite beautiful. And her spines on her elbows drape to the floor as well. She's older. I would say by human standards, she probably looks to be 65, 70, which for a world like this, without advanced medicine, is pretty old. And she approaches you and says, "Are you interested in the Enochiloa mushroom?"
Yeah, I was just inspecting it. My friend has a, kind of like a little dragon that has mushrooms. Another fungus kind of as part of its being, and I was just curious about this one. If I cut it off the wall, do you know, will it stop glowing?
Ah, why don't you try, my dear?
Well, it could be a snack for somebody. I don't want to take somebody's food just to see if it's gonna glow, you know? Yeah, you're right. I'm gonna cut it off.
That is thoughtful.
I'm too curious.
And as you do so, you notice that it continues to glow. The light that it gives off it actually brightens for a moment. And as you hold it over the course of the next couple minutes, as she's talking to you and explaining the properties of this mushroom, you notice that the light slowly dims until it goes out entirely, and it's just a white mushroom. And she says, once the light goes out, you can eat.
Oh, so you don't want to eat them if they're glowing?
It can be painful, but it's not unsafe.
Okay, that's good to know. I'm gonna keep this one. Can I keep this one? Do I need to pay somebody?
No, they grow back.
Okay, I'm gonna keep this one and show it to my friend.
And she just kind of chuckles. Give me a perception check against her will DC.
Modified 20.
So I think what you gain from her chuckle is she's kind of thinking, how cute, the outsiders. They don't know. And she just kind of gives you a wave and walks off as her quills drape to the ground next to her.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
You as
Stay
well,
safe out
dear.
there.
I think I'm going to fast forward things a little bit. Everything passes smoothly. The cave is safe for the night. You're able to spend some time walking around if you choose, and you're able to follow Yheli to some accommodations. But you do notice that you are staying with refugees, and you might notice that their accent is a little different. That they seem to be, I mean, they are much the same species, but they have a slightly different dialect in their language that you might pick up on, you might not. And I think that your time with them, you would notice that these people deeply value community. They are looking out for each other. If someone needs something, someone else stands right up and walks over to help. And the night passes uneventfully, and you wake up the next morning. What you would assume to be the morning, because it's completely dark in the cave. Yeah, you're underground. And Yheli comes over to you and asks if you need anything before you set out on your journey. And she also turns to, I think, Shaija. And she says, may I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
And she kind of pulls you to the side a little bit. I don't think she wants anybody else to hear this question. Do you step over?
Yes. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. And she says, why is this boy being hunted? Do you know?
That is a good question. I'm not sure we do know, but for whatever reason, he is being hunted. I know I've only heard some things during the group, but I haven't really been paying too much attention to the machinations of the other groups.
Very well. Rest assured that he is safe among the Shisk people.
We'll see.
And she nods. You can also, if you would like, you can give me a perception check against her will DC. Try and sense motive here.
Which is it? Is it society or is it I don't even
perception?
Know. Perception. Yeah.
Yeah, sense motive type roll.
17.
I think you pick up on the fact that she respects your caution. With the nod that she gives you when you say we'll see, she is approving of the fact that you don't take everything everyone says word for word, just point blank. And are we heading out of the caves now?
Yeah.
Everyone else is ready to go, yeah?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Can I have a survival check?
Do we
With
still get
our
that
plus
plus
two?
twos?
You
Yeah.
do.
Okay, cool. Probably gonna need it.
I love the dice on Foundry. They look so good.
Oh.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god, so that's 3 7s and a 22?
I don't think the 22 has my +2 in there, so it's a 24.
Oh god.
If that makes any difference.
Remy's at a 22.
Yeah, Remy!
And let's roll Lucigia.
Though to be fair, Shaija and Kriggs are 9s because the circumstance bonus isn't added in.
I put mine in on the pop-up, so...
I tried to, I did
Did you hit
something.
add? Because it doesn't say it has it.
Oh, so yeah, 9.
Nice. All right, we've got 9, 24, 9, 9, 22, 13.
Oh no, mine's just a 7. I did manage to add
Oh.
the circumstance.
Got it.
Oh, okay, so when it says add, I thought that meant like add another, but add that one. I got you. Cool.
Okay. You continue forward. And the next day, you are traveling along ridge passes where sometimes you are backed up against the mountain's wall, the mountain face, and you're continuing on a fairly narrow ridge forward. There's still greenery around, and you're still able to, you're able to navigate quite well. There's really only one way forward at this point. And so DC for this isn't terribly difficult, but you notice that the mountains are much less dense as you push forward the next day. There are still mountains around, but it's much more like ridges and those, like on either side, you've got steep slopes and you've got a ridge that continues forward. So any mix of that, of those things. Where are we thinking we would like to go next on our map? I'd like you all to take a look at the map. You're currently kind of in between the South Kinderon Mountains and Central Kinderon Mountains, like about to approach the Central Kinderon Mountains. Would you like to continue forward into the mountains? Would you like to eventually make your way down toward a different part of the map? What are y'all thinking?
I'm gonna be perfectly honest here. I roleplayed Hannah a little bit too hard, and I forgot where we were going.
Going to the Whispering Marshes.
Yep. So yeah, I think Craig would not mind at all to see some water. So if Craig has access to a continent map like this, after spending this much time in the jungly mountains, he would float the idea across to the group of maybe. It was mostly intentional. Thanks. About getting out of the mountains and going to more level ground. That's just him, though.
I mean, honestly, I'd agree. If we can charter a boat over at Ecolofia,
yeah.
I feel like between Craig and me, should be able to at least get to the Whispering Marshes over boat rather than having to walk the whole time.
Yeah, I think you, the two of you, you're perfectly capable. So I'd follow you.
I did run aground. What's the river going up to Baikisi? Whatever that river is, I did, and I've admitted to in the show that Craig wasn't used to the river waters. He did run aground and have to abandon ship, but now he's a much wiser kobold.
Yeah, it's been a month?
Less
And
than a
several
month.
near-death experiences later.
I think it's been about a week, I think, at this point, since you started your journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but what a week.
Yeah.
What a week.
Wait, I thought we went a square a day.
Yeah, you did.
We fast forwarded
7,
5,
8,
then
10.
we're gonna do the math, folks.
We are.
I counted 11 days.
Okay.
11 days. That sounds right. Yeah.
Cool.
So a week and a half.
I think Sogafa does not at all remember that Craig ran aground in a ship. I think all she remembers
He won't. Yeah, he's not
is
going to offer up to remind you. He's going to go
him-
along with the yeah.
She's imagining, or she's remembering Craig looking like a captain in the cauldron, riding around, and
Good.
the way he stood up to the Rangers, and she's remembering how tough and strong Hannah is, and she's like, they're infallible.
Yes. Hold on. Now.
I think Lee Shijia, though I don't want to speak too much for her, I feel like her character would prefer being out of the jungle mountains to staying in them.
I
What
agree with
about-
Lishigia.
Yeah. Shall we start to work our way down the mountain then?
Yep.
All right. You make camp for the night. And in order to make your way down, you feel that you need to enter. There's what looks to be a cave system that slopes downward. It seems to be the most efficient way down the mountain. Give me a survival check for the next day.
And we're still getting that +2 circumstance?
You are.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Only thing bringing me to a positive here.
Oh no.
Okay, I got an 8.
22.
13.
Okay.
I feel like Craig and Shaija have a rope around Hannah. We know that like Hannah's been stumbling because of her feet, and Craig and Shaija just rolled really well. So I'd imagine like, no. Oh. No, you're going down it all wrong. Craig, help Hannah out, please.
Yep. And he's putting his entire little body into this.
I am so sorry. The traction just feels so much different. I cannot get used to this.
If you weren't so tall, I'm telling you, we Craig especially, we have much better time climbing down because we're closer.
Hey, if there was such a thing as climbing down I could climb down a crow's nest, no problem. This is... Everything just keeps giving way underneath my feet.
It is now. Oh, go ahead.
Nope.
It is now the 28th of Breeze. 3 days have moved forward since you've been in the caves. You begin to make your way into this cave system, going down the mountain. It very clearly slopes downward. And those same fungi dot the walls. And you enter a cavern. It looks like this. Let's get your characters on the map. Can you all see
Oh, boy.
this?
I can now.
Okay.
I can't see it on Foundry. I can only see it on Twitch.
Do you have dark vision?
I do.
I-
You
Okay.
should be able to see it now.
I do not have dark vision.
Let's see. 2, 3, 4, 5. That should be everybody. Can you all see it now on Foundry? No? Interesting. Okay.
It says that I'm in the cave. Like up in the top left, it says cave.
Okay.
I don't know if. Can I zoom out or something?
Yeah, if you do the scroll wheel.
I don't have a scroll wheel on my laptop
Hi, Shaija.
today.
Did it zoom your character over there? Did it zoom in when I typed?
No.
Yeah, so when it popped you out, it might have popped you at a different part of the map. Just zoom way the heck out.
Well, I'm wondering if the token didn't have the prototype inheritance and can't see.
That's what I'll check right now. Good call. Vision. Yeah, it has vision. Okay. Well, let's describe what you walk into, and I'll hopefully I can fix that as we move forward next week. You enter a cave, or a cavern, rather, and before you stand, or rather sit, three creatures that turn their heads to look at you. Hey, Don, how do I show everybody a picture on,
Right click it.
okay?
Do you see view artwork?
Doo-doo. Yes,
where
I do.
where is okay, yeah. Click that and then it'll show it to you, then you have to click on the top show
Oh.
there. Oh no.
Oh wow.
I
So,
thought we were friends.
So all of you see, as you enter this cave, three of these creatures with tentacles coming off of the back of their head, with yellow piercing eyes. They look at you. They're eerily silent. And they stare you down as you enter. We'll pick it up there at the beginning of our next
Wait.
session.
Is this what dogs look like in Saga Gangsta?
Ah,
I think that's it. I think that's what they are. They look very sweet.
just friendly little dogs. Is this how we find out Hannah doesn't have dark vision?
Oh goodness.
So I have torches, so just
I have a cool item I can use.
You do have a cool item. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for playing.
yeah, thank you.
I hope you all have a wonderful night. We're gonna stop
Thank
our
you.
stream now. Bye, everybody.